Have you ever seen an old friend after many years and suddenly realized that they have completely changed? Not just their appearance, but also the way they speak, think, and act has become different. They seem to be more successful, more confident, and full of energy. You wonder, what did they do to become the person they are now? Meanwhile, there are some people who, despite the passing years, remain stuck in place, living a tiring, repetitive life without any change. So, where does the difference lie? The truth is, everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants a better job, a more fulfilling life, a healthier body, and a stronger mind. But not everyone achieves that. Most people don't lack information or resources to change what is the right approach and a clear path. If you only rely on temporary motivation or vague advice, you will soon fall back into old habits. On the other hand, if you understand how personal development works, you will realize that upgrading yourself is not as difficult as you think. Imagine you are standing in the middle of a dark room. You can't see anything around you, but you know that if you just find the light switch, the whole room will light up. Personal development is the same. You don't have to stumble in the dark for years. All you need is to find the right switch, and you can brighten your life in the shortest time possible. But what is that switch? It is the change in your mindset and actions. No one can step out of the cycle of life without changing the way they think and the way they work. But this change cannot happen randomly or vaguely. It needs a system, a clear method that can be applied immediately. This book isn't written for you to read and then put aside. It's written for you to apply, experiment, and see real results. One misconception that many people have is that personal development is a long and complicated journey that requires years of training. But this is not entirely true. Change does not necessarily have to take a long time. If you know how to focus on the most important factors, you can make a leap in just a few months or even a few weeks. The secret lies in doing the right things in the right way at the right time. One of the reasons why many people don't get far is that they get stuck in what is called the cycle of procrastination. They constantly tell themselves, I will change, but not now. They wait for the perfect moment, a time when everything is just right to begin. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. Successful people don't wait for ideal conditions. They start right where they are. Think about someone who wants a healthier body. If they keep waiting for tomorrow, next week, or until they get motivated to work out, they will never start. But if they decide to spend just 10 minutes each day doing some simple exercises, they will soon notice the difference. Starting small, but being consistent is the fastest way to create big changes. What's even more important is to understand that growth is not a race. You don't need to compare yourself to others or force yourself to achieve results immediately. What you need is a realistic path that helps you go faster without burning out along the way. This book will provide exactly that. Not vague advice, not distant philosophies, but a plan that can be implemented right away with measurable results. The journey to upgrade yourself will go through 5 important stages. First, you must restructure your thinking. Because if your mindset doesn't change, no matter what you do, you will fall back into your old ways. Then you need to learn how to master your energy, because without energy, you won't be able to maintain any changes. Next, you need to systematize your goals to ensure that you are moving in the right direction. But just having goals is not enough. You need discipline to make sure you take action. Finally, once you have a solid foundation, you will learn how to break through your limits to reach your best version. No one is born better than anyone else. Every skill, habit, and mindset can be developed. The only difference between successful people and those who remain stuck is whether they proactively develop themselves. You don't have to wait for a special time to start. As soon as you finish reading this chapter, if you decide to change one small thing in your habit, you will have laid the first brick for your own development. Many people think that they have to do something really big to change their life. But in reality, it's the small daily actions that make the biggest difference. Someone who reads 1 page of a book every day will be much wiser than someone who hasn't read anything in a year. Someone who spends 10 minutes every morning learning a new skill will go further than someone who always procrastinates because they don't have enough time. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to start. The world around you will keep changing. Technology, the market, opportunities, everything changes rapidly. If you don't proactively develop, you will be left behind. But if you know how to upgrade yourself intelligently and strategically, you will always stay one step ahead of others. Remember, no one can do this for you. No one will enter your life and say, it's time for you to change. Only you can make that decision. This book will help you find the fastest way to upgrade yourself, but the first step must be taken by you. And that step can begin right now. Part 1. Restructuring your mindset, shaping the new version of yourself. All change begins with mindset. If the mindset does not change, all efforts to take action will be temporary and unsustainable. People tend to act based on the beliefs already formed in their minds, and if those beliefs are flawed or limiting, the results they achieve cannot exceed their thoughts. On the other hand, when you change the way you think, even without taking any action yet, you have already taken the first step out of the old zone and are getting closer to a better version of yourself. Mindset is not fixed. It is shaped by the environment, personal experiences, and everything we absorb from society. Therefore, restructuring your mindset is completely possible, but the key is to recognize what the barriers in your thinking are and which perspectives need to be replaced. If you continue to hold on to the old mindset while expecting new results, it is impossible. Change does not come from trying harder, but from thinking differently. One of the biggest obstacles to growth is a limiting mindset. This type of thinking leads people to believe that their abilities are fixed and cannot be changed. When someone thinks they are not good at something, they won't try to improve. When they believe success is due to luck or innate talent, they won't actively train to achieve success. On the contrary, a person with a growth mindset understands that all skills can be cultivated and all limits can be overcome if approached correctly. Successful people are not those with special talents, but those who believe they can learn, adapt, and improve. To change your mindset, the most important thing is to identify and eliminate deeply rooted negative beliefs. Many people have a habit of self-limiting with phrases like, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough time, I don't have the same opportunities as others, it's too late for me to start. These thoughts do not reflect reality. They are just self-imposed barriers that prevent people from taking action. When you change your thinking from I can't to how can I, you lay the foundation for development. In addition to eliminating limiting mindsets, another crucial element of restructuring your mindset is learning to view failure differently. Many people fear failure so much that they don't dare to start. They think that if they try and fail, it means they are not capable. But in reality, failure is just part of the learning process. No one is good at something right from the start. No one achieves success without making mistakes. When you see failure as a lesson instead of an endpoint, you will have the courage to keep trying and continue progressing. One of the most effective ways to change your mindset is by exposing yourself to new perspectives. When you only live in a familiar environment, communicate with people who share the same views, and read things you are already familiar with, it's very difficult to expand your thinking. But when you actively seek out different ideas, challenge your own viewpoints, and learn from people with different perspectives, you will see that the world is much larger than you ever thought. Successful people never stop learning because they understand that there is always something new to discover, and there is always a better way to do things. Moreover, a strong mindset is not just a flexible one, but also one with the ability to focus. In today's world, people are surrounded by an overwhelming amount of information and choices, which can easily cause them to lose direction. When you allow your mind to be distracted by unimportant things, it will be difficult for you to have enough focus to develop. A clear mindset means knowing what truly matters and dedicating all your attention to it. The fastest growing individuals are those who know how to simplify their thinking, eliminate distractions, and focus on what truly has value. Finally, restructuring your mindset is not just about changing the way you think, but also about changing how you react to life. Many people let their emotions dictate their decisions, reacting instinctively to situations rather than logically. When you learn how to control your thoughts, you will also control how you react to everything around you. A person with a strong mindset does not allow negative situations to affect them for long because they understand they have the power to choose how they perceive the problem. In conclusion, restructuring your mindset is the foundation for all development. If you do not change the way you think, no other efforts will yield lasting results. What matters most is not how much you know, but how you think about what you know. When you learn to eliminate limiting beliefs, view failure as a lesson, broaden your perspective, cultivate focus, and control how you react to life, you will realize that upgrading yourself is no longer a distant goal. Because change does not begin from the outside, it begins from the way you think on the inside. Part 2, mastering energy, maximizing your performance. Have you ever had a day when you were full of energy, worked twice as effectively as usual, and didn't feel tired? And there are also days when you can't focus, feeling sluggish no matter how hard you try. That difference doesn't come from suddenly becoming lazy or lacking motivation, but largely from how you manage your energy. No one can work effectively without enough energy, just as no one can run fast without sufficient stamina. Most people think that productivity is solely related to time. They try to work longer, sleep less, and drink more coffee to stay awake. But this approach only helps them maintain for a short time before the body becomes exhausted. Time is limited. Everyone only has 24 hours a day. What matters is not how much time you have, but how much energy you have to make the most of that time. Energy comes not only from the physical body, but also from the mind and emotions. A person may get enough sleep, but still feel tired if their mind is overloaded with worries, pressure, and stress. On the other hand, a person may be busy, but still feel full of vitality if they know how to control their emotions and maintain a positive mindset. Therefore, to master your energy, you need to understand the 3 main sources of energy: physical energy, mental energy, and emotional energy. Physical energy is the foundation. The human body is designed to function efficiently when it gets enough sleep, proper nutrition, and regular exercise. Lack of sleep not only reduces concentration, but also affects decision-making ability and emotional control. A poor diet can make you feel sluggish, slow, and unmotivated. Lack of physical activity reduces blood circulation, causing the body to remain in a stagnant state. When you take good care of your body, you are building a solid foundation to sustain stamina in all other activities. Mental energy determines how you use your focus. If you are constantly distracted by unimportant things, you won't have enough energy to complete what really matters. Your day can pass by quickly without any progress just because you got caught up in unnecessary information, unimportant conversations, and useless thoughts. When you learn how to manage your focus, you will find that you can accomplish more in less time without overworking yourself. Emotional energy is often overlooked but has a huge impact on work performance. When you are in a positive state of mind, everything becomes easier. When you are stressed, anxious, or negative, even simple tasks become burdensome. Negative emotions drain energy faster than anything else. When you learn to control your emotions, you won't let external factors affect your performance too much. Mastering energy is not about working continuously, but knowing when to rest and when to focus deeply. Many people think that the longer they work, the more effective they are, but in reality, productivity doesn't increase with the number of hours worked. It increases with how you allocate your energy throughout the day. The human body has a natural rhythm, and working in sync with this biological cycle helps you maximize alertness and productivity. If you force yourself to work when your body is tired, you are just depleting more energy without achieving better results. External factors also affect energy more than you might think. A cluttered workspace, poor lighting, and constant noise can all reduce focus and drain energy quickly. A clean, organized, and well-lit workspace can make you feel more comfortable and help sustain productivity for longer periods. How you structure your day is also crucial. If you start your day with simple but unimportant tasks, you will lose energy before you reach the more important ones. But if you allocate your highest energy to the most important tasks, you will find that you can accomplish more without feeling exhausted. Mastering energy also involves how you interact with the people around you. A stressful conversation can drain energy faster than a busy day at work. On the other hand, positive relationships can help you feel more energized and motivated. When you filter what you take in, from the people you interact with to the information you read each day, you can control a large part of your mental and emotional energy. The key to maximizing energy is not doing more, but doing it smarter. If you know when to recharge, you will never feel exhausted. If you know how to control your focus, you won't get caught up in irrelevant things. If you learn how to maintain a positive mindset, you won't be overly affected by external factors. When you master your energy, you will not only work more efficiently, but also feel more at ease and comfortable in all your daily activities. Finally, mastering energy not only helps you achieve your goals faster, but also helps you maintain sustainable growth. No one can sustain high performance over a long period without a proper energy management system. Successful people don't work harder than others. They just know how to work at the right time, in the right way, and according to the energy they have. When you understand how your energy works, you will no longer feel like you are racing against time. Instead, you will make the most of what you have to achieve the best results. Part 3. Systematizing goals, putting everything into orbit. Have you ever started a new year with a lot of determination, but after a few weeks, everything returns to the way it was before? At first, you set clear goals. Exercise every day, read more books, learn a new skill, work more effectively. But as time passes, motivation fades, and eventually you either give up or forget about what you had planned. This is not just your problem. Most people face this situation because they only have desires, but they lack a system to turn those desires into results. Goals cannot just be an idea in your head. If you simply say you want to become better, healthier, or more successful, you won't know where to start and won't recognize when you have actually achieved them. A goal only has meaning when it is specific, measurable, and has a clear plan for execution. If you don't systematize your goals, you will remain in a state of ambiguity, always busy but never making significant progress. Systematizing goals means turning a big idea into practical steps. First, you need to clearly define what you really want. Not every desire is worth pursuing. A good goal needs to be not only appealing, but also aligned with your circumstances and values. If you set a goal just because you see others doing it, you will quickly lose interest. But if the goal comes from your genuine needs, you will have the motivation to pursue it to the end. Once you have a clear goal, the next step is to break it down into actionable steps. A large goal can become overwhelming if you only look at the big picture without a concrete plan to achieve it. When you break the goal into smaller, measurable steps, you will know exactly what to do each day to get closer to your desired outcome. For example, if you want to learn a new skill, don't just say you want to get good at it. Define exactly what you need to learn, how much time you will dedicate each day, and how you will measure your progress. One common mistake when setting goals is focusing only on the result without building a system to sustain action. Many people want to lose weight, but they focus only on the number on the scale instead of building healthy eating and exercise habits. When results don't come immediately, they easily become discouraged. However, if they focus on the system, maintaining a healthy diet and regular exercise, they will achieve results naturally without feeling pressured. A good system helps you maintain consistency without relying too much on motivation. Motivation can help you start, but it is not enough to help you finish. There will be days when you feel uninspired or uninterested, but if you have a clear system in place, you can still continue without interruption. When an action becomes part of your system, it turns into a habit, and at that point, you won't have to struggle to maintain it. In addition to having a system, it is equally important to track your progress. If you don't know how far you've come, you can easily become frustrated and lose direction. Tracking progress doesn't mean you have to record everything in detail, but you need some way to measure your growth. This helps you see what is working, what needs adjustment, and most importantly, it helps you maintain motivation by seeing real changes. Moreover, an effective system not only helps you work more organized, but also helps you avoid making emotional decisions. When you have a clear plan, you don't need to constantly think about what to do next. This saves you mental energy and minimizes procrastination. Instead of reminding yourself daily to exercise, read books, or learn, you simply follow the plan you have set. When everything is systematized, you no longer have to fight with yourself every time you want to start something. Another important aspect of systematizing goals is flexibility. Many people set overly rigid plans, and when they encounter small obstacles, they feel disappointed and give up. A good system is not a set of strict rules, but a framework that allows you to adapt to different situations. If a plan cannot be carried out exactly as intended, you can adjust it without losing sight of the overall direction. When you know how to maintain flexibility within your system, you won't be overly affected by unexpected changes. Finally, an effective system not only helps you achieve your goals, but also helps you maintain long-term development. Many people achieve short-term success, but then return to their previous state because they don't have a system to sustain their achievements. If you want to upgrade yourself sustainably, you need a system that helps you continue growing even after you've reached your first goal. Systematizing goals is not about doing more, but doing the right things in the right way. When you have a clear system, you won't be distracted by unimportant things. You will know exactly what to prioritize, what to ignore, and most importantly, you will maintain progress without feeling overwhelmed. Successful people are not those who just set goals, but those who know how to build a system to turn their goals into reality. When you know how to turn your desires into an organized plan, you won't have to worry about losing motivation or not knowing where to start. A system helps you maintain stability and focus, enabling you to achieve results more effectively without constantly struggling to overcome psychological obstacles. Instead of just waiting for a particular outcome, focus on building a system that helps you move forward every day. When you have a clear plan, a strong habit, and a flexible approach, you will realize that upgrading yourself is not an insurmountable challenge. Everything is just a matter of having the right system and maintaining it over time. When you do this, you will not only achieve your goals, but continuously grow without interruption. Part 4, accelerating with discipline, from ideas to execution. Have you ever felt disappointed in yourself because you set goals but couldn't sustain them? You have days full of motivation, working enthusiastically, but there are also days when you don't want to do anything at all. You tell yourself that you'll start again tomorrow, but then tomorrow passes with nothing changing. That feeling of discouragement not only comes from not achieving your goals, but also from gradually losing faith in yourself. No one wants to remain stuck, but not everyone knows how to overcome procrastination and maintain the discipline necessary to achieve what they want. Discipline is not something distant or only for those with unyielding willpower. It's simply the way you control yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. If you only rely on inspiration or temporary motivation, you will never have stability in your self-development journey. Successful people don't always feel inspired to work, but they still take action because they have discipline. When you have discipline, you don't need to wait for the right emotions to start. You simply do it because it's necessary. The biggest difference between people who achieve their goals and those who remain stuck lies in the ability to maintain action, even when motivation is absent. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are always changing. You may feel excited when you set a new goal, but after a few days or weeks, the excitement fades, difficulties arise, and you start feeling like giving up. If you don't have discipline, it's easy to quit. But if you have discipline, you will keep going even without the initial enthusiasm. One of the biggest mistakes many people make in maintaining discipline is setting too large of a goal without having a system for smaller, sustainable actions. When you look at the big picture alone, it can feel overwhelming and discouraging. But if you break your goal down into specific daily actions, you'll realize that with consistent small steps, you can go further than you imagined. Discipline doesn't mean working continuously. It means maintaining consistency in your actions. Many people think that discipline means forcing themselves to do difficult and uncomfortable things. But in reality, discipline is not about self-punishment. It's a way to help you achieve what you want in the most certain way. Discipline is not about punishing yourself, but about taking control of your life instead of letting life control you. When you have discipline, you don't need to struggle with decisions every day because Everything has already been planned. You don't need to fight with yourself about whether you should do something because you've already committed to it being done. When you start building discipline, you'll realize that it not only helps you achieve your goals, but also changes the way you view yourself. Every time you keep your commitment to yourself, you are reinforcing the belief that you have the ability to control your life. On the other hand, each time you break a commitment, you send a message to yourself that you cannot trust yourself. Confidence doesn't come from reading books or listening to motivational speeches. It comes from proving to yourself that you can do what you say. Discipline doesn't mean you have to be perfect. There will be days when you miss a habit, days when you can't complete your plan as expected. The important thing is not to avoid every mistake, but to know how to get back on track as quickly as possible. Many people, when making small mistakes, tend to give up, thinking that if they've made one mistake, there's no reason to continue. But those with discipline understand that one small mistake doesn't define the whole process. Instead of blaming themselves, they simply correct their mistake and continue. As you practice discipline, you will gradually notice that what used to require effort now becomes a habit. At first, you may have to force yourself to wake up early to work, but after some time, it will become a natural part of your life. You won't have to think about it, you'll just do it reflexively. That's when discipline no longer feels burdensome, but becomes a part of who you are. In the end, discipline is not something unfamiliar or as difficult as many people think. It doesn't require you to have immense willpower from the start. All it takes is your commitment to yourself that you will try a little bit every day. Every time you choose action over procrastination, you are building your discipline strength. And when discipline becomes a part of your life, you won't have to struggle with motivation anymore. You will be able to do what needs to be done at the right time with stability without being swayed by fleeting emotions. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who remain stagnant is not talent or external circumstances, but the ability to maintain discipline. What you do every day is more important than what you do once in a while. If you can maintain small but consistent actions, you will achieve bigger results than anyone who relies on temporary inspiration. And when you control your own discipline, you will control your future. Part 5, breaking through limits, becoming your peak version. Everyone has limits they believe they cannot overcome. It could be a certain income figure, a skill they think they can't learn, or a level of success they think is only for special people. But what if all those limits are actually boundaries that you have created yourself? What if everything you think is too hard is just something you've never tried seriously? No one reaches their peak without ever doubting their own abilities. But the difference between those who truly break through and those who remain stuck isn't in who has fewer doubts, but in who dares to act despite those doubts. You might not believe you can do something from the start, but if you keep trying, keep adjusting, and keep finding better ways, one day you will succeed without having to ask the question anymore. All limits can be broken if you approach them in the right way. First, you need to understand that your biggest limitation isn't the external conditions, but how you think about yourself. If you believe that you can only reach a certain level, you will unconsciously stop there. But if you believe that you can keep growing, you will always find a way to go further. Those who break through are not people with better conditions, but people who refuse to accept the limits they've imposed on themselves. One of the most common mistakes that prevent many people from breaking through is focusing too much on what they haven't accomplished instead of looking at what they can do next. When you only focus on your failures or weaknesses, you'll feel stuck. But when you shift your attention to solutions, new directions, and things you can try, you'll realize there's always another way to move forward. Anyone who wants to break through needs to learn how to adapt. The world is constantly changing, and what worked yesterday might not be relevant today. The best people are not those who know everything, but those who are always ready to learn and change when necessary. When you let go of the notion that you need to know everything from the start and accept that you will learn through the process, you will fearlessly face new challenges. Breaking through limits also requires accepting discomfort. No one can develop if they stay in their comfort zone. True change always comes with discomfort because you are doing things you've never done before. But if you can endure the discomfort for a short period, you will achieve results that others cannot. Successful people are not those who don't face difficulties, but those who accept difficulties as part of the growth process. Another important factor in breaking through is never letting comparisons slow you down. Many people get stuck by constantly comparing themselves to others, wondering why others are better, have better conditions, or achieve success faster. But the truth is, everyone has their own journey, and comparing only distracts you from what you need to do. Instead of looking at others, focus on how you can improve compared to your past self. Breaking through is not a single moment. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but is the result of many days, months, even years of continuous effort. But the important thing is that you keep moving forward, even if it's just a little bit each day. When you maintain persistence and continue learning, you'll realize that what once seemed too far off now becomes entirely possible. Conclusion: growth has no limits. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to start upgrading yourself. No one wakes up one morning and suddenly becomes their best version. All change begins with a decision. The decision not to stay stuck in old limits, the decision to do something differently, the decision to step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. All you need to do is start. It doesn't matter where you are, how many opportunities you've missed, or how far you think you are from your goals. You can always start right now. Just a small shift in mindset, a simple action repeated each day, and you'll lay the foundation for a completely different life. Personal development is not a path with a fixed destination. It's a continuous process where each time you reach a new level, you realize there's still so much to explore. No one can say they have fully developed because there is always a better version of yourself waiting ahead. This book is not just a guide, but a reminder that you can do more than you ever thought possible. You don't need innate talent. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to wait for a special moment. You just need to start, persist, and never stop improving. When you do that, nothing can stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. Start today. No one else can do this for you. But if you decide to take action, you will see that everything you want is within your reach. And when you look back, you will be proud of yourself for not stopping.